Hey y'all, it's your girl Vincere, aka Courtney, and I'm back with another assembly. Y'all know the rules. Like, share, and subscribe to see more of this, or even if you just enjoyed this video. I'm back. Sorry it took me so long to get y'all some more videos, but you know, furniture assembly could take a while, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I got all my pieces laid out. I'm gonna get all my screws separated. We're gonna enjoy this view, and today we are making a TALLASEN bed frame. So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna start by overlooking the directions really quick. They have screws, they have 18 screws, 8, 16, and 10. You're gonna go ahead and separate them. I have my frame laid out exactly how the headboard is gonna be assembled. With this little railing part, is like, I don't know, this metal L-shaped part is like sticking out. That's going to be towards the top. This pole that has the fabric on it, you're going to make sure the zipper is facing you, but the fabric is underneath. And if you run into any problems later down the line, it is a quick fix to reverse that piece with the fabric around, because that's what I had to do. But nonetheless, it's very simple and easy. It got a little bit tricky. I ain't gonna hold y'all right there, but I figured it out and I was able to do it exactly the way it was supposed to be done. But nonetheless, we're going to take these curvy end poles that are at the side of the headboard, and we're going to stick it in the hole right there. It also has a hole in the pole with the fabric, and that is going to be used to secure these two pieces together. We're going to take our little screw with the last 3 digits of 206, and we're going to go ahead and screw that in until it's tight. Make sure you separate all your screws, because it is a bit tricky and it got a bit confusing, but if you separate them in the beginning part, you'll understand which small screw goes right here, because they both and all look like the same size, length, shape. Only difference is like the top part. One of them is pointy like a comb and the other one's more round. So just separate them and then pay attention to the last digits on the code that they labeled the screw, and then say everything should be perfectly fine. So once you got those two screwed in at the top, we're going to take our poles that hold on to the side. And then we're going to get our longer piece. It has like a railing on the bottom. That's another thing about IKEA furniture. They don't seem to like to label their things with letters or numbers. So, you know, you really have to pay attention to the pictures and make sure everything is facing the correct way in the right directions. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm examining and make sure, because, you know, who wants to go back and do something over again? I know I don't. So the metal pole goes towards the bottom, more towards you, like you see me doing here. There are 4 holes in this assembly piece step, but you're going to make sure we only do 2. We're going to take screws 4 through 5, which is different from the last 2 small screws we used. See, now you'll see the difference of what I'm talking about. But we're going to go ahead and screw those in and tighten those into the second hole and then the last hole on the bottom. So you're going to skip a hole. You're going to skip the first one, do the second one, skip the third one, do the fourth one. Just like that. And once you have that tightened, here's the part where we go mess with this fabric again, because we have to get the fabric to connect to this piece and put some poles in there. The poles are the same. It should be 2 long skinny poles that will go inside the loop of the fabric. It doesn't matter which end you use, because they both work. Now that I got my poles in here just like this, see, this is the part where it got a little bit confusing to me, because I was like, okay, is this fabric facing the right way? Then I flipped it over. See, all I did was slide it under there, flip it around, make the bars come to the end just like this, and boom. We're going to take our 2 longer screws, number ending in 574, and if you look on the bottom of the assembly, more so facing you, you'll see the holes. You'll see how the holes align to this pole and connect the fabric. The fabric is going to be pulled really tight. It's not going to be like no lack to it or nothing. It's just pulled fabric. Like, you think the manufacturer did something like this, but nah, you really putting it together. So now we took our 2 longer screws. I didn't use my drill on this time. I used my Allen key, just so I can show y'all it can be done without a drill. And then I will use my drill to tighten it at the end. If you want to use the black piece that it took you for the Allen key, it is a bit easier. You just slide it in there. And we're going to go ahead and screw those in. You want to screw them in first and then tighten them. Don't tighten one and then do the other 3. Put them all in first and then tighten them. So now once we have done that, we're going to take the end of our bed frame and we're going to go ahead and attach the legs to that railing. Same as we did with the headboard. It's going to have 4 holes. You're going to do 1 hole and skip a hole. No, skip a hole, do 1 hole, skip a hole, do the other one. You know, same thing. Make sure the railing is facing towards the bottom, because this is what holds the wooden slats or the metal poles. It depends on which one this assembly came with. I'm pretty sure all y'all are familiar with the wooden slates. So now that we have that screwed in, well, it doesn't look like I do yet, but you probably don't either, because it takes longer than what I'm actually showing you in this video. But I'm gonna give y'all a second to do that. And again, just make sure you have your screws separated, and it'll be smooth sailing from there. We're going to take our metal plate that holds the middle pole of our bed frame together, and we're going to use screw ending in 206 to hold that through. On the 2 outside holes, the hook, the latch rather, should go facing towards the top. Then we're going to move on to the sides. The sides, I was attaching this pole onto the side railings. And it depends on if you want it high or low, if your mattress sitting through. I went ahead and put it at the bottom. Average people would like their bed at the bottom versus sitting up a little higher at the top, but it's on your preference. So now we're going to take these corner pieces. One has 2 holes on one end and the other one has like a bigger circle with a smaller end that, you know, you put it through the bigger circle, then push down and it latches and then you tighten the screw, you know, all that good stuff. So after you just screwed in all those long screws to the pole to attach it to the side, I'm going to take the L-shaped bar I'm talking about, and you're going to use screw ending in 435 to secure it on each corner. You're going to do that 4 times to the side railings, and the side railings only. And the circles are the ones that we're going to leave open, just like you see in my diagram here. Once you have that, we're going to go ahead and place the pieces roughly to where they're going. So I'm putting my footboard at the end of the bed, placing my headboard on the wall at the beginning of the bed, and I put my 2 side panels on the side and they land on the floor. I'm going to lift my bed frame up. You know, when you do this a couple of times, you could really do it on your own, but you might want to have somebody help you do this part, because it can get a little bit frustrating, and this is where you might give up. So now you're going to take the 2 circles and the 2 screws that are in our headboard. They should be poking out a little bit if you didn't screw them all the way in. And you're going to put the big circle part of the corner panel piece that we just assembled onto the side railing. And you're going to stick the circles inside of the screw and then push down, and then you're going to tighten up those screws, just like you see me do here. Once you have that tightened up, of course, you're going to do the same thing to the footboard. You do not want to tighten it all the way up until you finish putting every piece together on the bed frame. Once you do that, then you can tighten it and it'll be a lot easier. I'm going to go ahead and attach my footboard just like this. You see me here. Boom, 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 boom. I'm so silly, y'all. I be having fun putting this furniture together, but yeah. So now we're going to take our curvy bar. I would say it looks like a long handle bike bar, and we're going to go ahead and assemble that into the middle of the bed frame with the dip going towards the bottom. And you're going to use screw 574, which is our long ones, and we're going to use 2 on each end, and those are going to be attached to the side of the bed frame, just like you see me do here. Once you have that done, you're going to take our thicker middle piece bed frame holder, and it slides out. You want to hook that to the latch that's at the headboard and at the footboard, and it just sits right in there. And once you do that, you want to take the little screws in and then 206, and you're going to take the little attachment piece 286, which is going to hold the slates. The piece gets pointed towards the headboard or towards the footboard, that way it can actually hold the slates. Now, if you did this fabric part right, you'll see that the zipper starts on your left side like I do in this video. You're going to zipping it up just like you would do your coat. Zipping it up all the way across, just like this. And y'all know it's allergy season, so I'm sitting right here with a little napkin trying to get rid of my sinuses. So now that we got that zipped all the way up, we're going to go ahead and stretch it to the other side, and as you can see, it sticks to the Velcro. If you give it a little pull, not too much of a pull. If you got to pull that thing extremely to it so hard, you need to go back and rearrange that fabric a little bit, you know, because it might not be looped around the right way. And after you do that, you're going to put your wooden slates through those little slits that we had. Make sure you do it on both ends so the wooden slates can stay. You're going to do both sides, and there you go. You have your TALLASEN bed frame. They had the mattress there already, so I'm just going ahead and do the honors opening that bad boy up. Make sure you be very careful when you're opening up the mattresses. Most of them, once you break the seal and the air starts getting in there, the mattress can pop right open and pretty much sling anywhere around the room. It can push you around, it can push the furniture around, you can create a hole in the wall, I don't know, just be very careful. So now that I took that plastic off, this video helped you. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to see more of this, or even if you just enjoyed this video. I know I did. I'll be watching these shows like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning when I don't got nothing to do. Till next time, thank you.